Ladies and gentlemen, let me speak to you today, not simply as one man addressing others, but as a voice reaching for the heart. We live in a world flooded with confusion, chaos, and shallow games dressed up as love. Everywhere you turn, the noise is deafening, people chasing attention, clinging to illusions, playing games with emotions. Yet beneath all that, there's a question I've heard whispered in locker rooms, confessed in late-night conversations, and even softly spoken in quiet prayers. How can I make her worry about me? It's a question most won't dare to ask out loud. But let me be clear with you, you don't make a woman worry by playing games. You don't make her miss you by disappearing or pretending to be mysterious. You make her worry by becoming something real, a man of substance. Not just a shadow flickering on the wall, but a presence she feels when you walk into the room and even more when you walk out. If you want her to feel your absence, you must first master how to truly be present. You must first become the kind of man whose presence matters. There are 7 keynotes, 7 fires in the furnace of manhood, that will not just make a woman worry about you but will make her wonder about you, miss you, and value you in a way no trick, no tactic, no manipulation ever could. Let's begin with this simple truth. A man without purpose is like a ship drifting in open water without a compass. Sure, he may float, he may even seem to be moving, but he's going nowhere. And when a man drifts, the women in his life can feel it, even if they never say a word. Deep down, they know, they sense it in their bones. They feel the weightlessness of your life, and it does not stir their hearts. It does not make them worry. It does not make them feel. Why? Because when a man doesn't stand for something, he simply fades into the background. He doesn't stand out at all. You want her to worry about losing you? You want her to miss you like a sharp wind cutting through an open window? Then stop floating. Stop coasting. Stop existing. Start living for something that echoes beyond yourself, something eternal, something dangerous, something sacred. You must rise up and chase purpose. Purpose isn't about money, fame, or clout. It's not about likes, followers, or hollow achievements. Purpose is the fire in your bones that won't let you sleep until you build what God has written into your spirit. It's the ache that whispers, "There's more," even when the crowd is cheering and your comfort is secured. Purpose is what wakes you up in the morning. Purpose is what makes you turn off the noise, silence the distractions, and say no to what's easy. Purpose will not hold your hand. It will not stroke your ego. Purpose will crush your excuses, but in that crushing, you will rise. You will become the man you were born to be. And when a woman sees that, truly sees it, it does something to her soul. She notices you walking when other men are sitting. She sees you praying when others are playing. She watches you building when others are scrolling, growing when others are shrinking, moving when others are murmuring. And something in her begins to stir, not because of how you look or the smoothness of your words, but because of who you are becoming. Let me tell you something. A man on a mission is not easily forgotten. A man consumed by vision is not easily ignored. When you move with purpose, you carry yourself differently. You speak with weight. You carry silence like a sword. And without even trying, you create gravity around you. That kind of presence, it stays with her. It lingers. It haunts her in the best way. She thinks of you when you're gone. She wonders where you are, what you're building, and who you're becoming, not because you've manipulated her emotions, but because you are separating yourself from the average. And she doesn't want to be left behind. But make no mistake, purpose has a price. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you approval. It will cost you fleeting pleasures and shallow applause. But what it gives you depth, and depth. That's what stays when beauty fades. Depth is what echoes when silence falls. Depth is what makes a woman lie awake at night, whispering your name, not because she's desperate, but because she's encountered a rare man. A man who stands when others bow. A man who moves when others stall. A man who burns with something the world can't extinguish. You want to be unforgettable? You want her to worry about losing you? Then stop chasing her. Chase your calling. Chase the assignment God wrote into your bones before the world even knew your name. And when you do, she will notice, she will feel it. She won't say it out loud, but she'll worry. Not because she's insecure, not because you've played games, but because men of purpose don't wait around forever. So get up, wipe the dust off your soul, run, Because this world doesn't need another distracted man, it needs a dangerous one, a man with purpose, a man like you. When you begin to walk in your purpose, when you carry real presence, something shifts, not just in how you see yourself, but in how the world responds to you. You don't need to make a scene to be seen. You don't need to raise your voice to be heard. A man of purpose carries his peace like armor. And that unsettles people, not because you are intimidating, but because you are undisturbed. Let me tell you, when a man walks in real peace, people notice, and a woman, especially a woman of depth, feels it in a way she can't always explain. She sees that storms don't move you, opinions don't control you, temptations don't lure you. You are not rushing, you are not scrambling, you are moving at the speed of purpose, not the pace of pressure. And that, my brother, is rare, because peace doesn't mean life is quiet. No, real peace is when the storm is howling around you, but you carry stillness inside you. It's when you've built your soul into a sanctuary. It's when you've learned to live from the inside out, not the outside in. Your mood isn't set by the crowd, your identity isn't shaped by Instagram, your value isn't defined by who loves you, or who left you. You know who you are, you know whose you are, and you move like it. A woman may not always speak it out loud, but she's watching. She watches how you handle disrespect. She watches how you carry yourself when life doesn't go your way. She watches what triggers your anger, what throws you off course, what breaks your focus. And when she sees that you don't fold under pressure, that you don't panic in confusion, that you don't chase every battle like a dog chasing passing cars, that moves her. And yes, it makes her worry. She begins to worry because she realizes men like you don't come around often. She senses that you are not desperate. You are not emotionally erratic. You are not clinging to chaos. You've done the quiet, painful, often unseen work of becoming a fortress. And women respect what is fortified. So protect your peace, guard your energy like a precious treasure. Don't waste your words explaining yourself to fools. Don't argue with people committed to misunderstanding you. Stay steady. Stay still. Stay focused. Your peace is not weakness. It is power. And that power will speak louder than your presence ever could. When you walk away, she will feel it, not because you were loud, but because you were calm, not because you played games, but because you refused to play at all. Peace is your posture. Peace is your proof that you are not like the rest. You see, there's a sickness in this generation, a quiet desperation behind the smiles, the selfies, the sweet talk. Men wandering through life like beggars, not for bread, but for validation. They scroll endlessly. They chase approval. They strive for likes, not for purpose, but for attention. And they wonder, why doesn't she see me? Why doesn't she chase me back? It's because she doesn't want a man who needs her to breathe. She wants a man who already knows how to live. You were not born to beg for a woman's affection. You were born to build. You were born to lead. You were born to plant. To plan. To create something so steady, so solid, so deeply rooted that your life speaks even when your mouth is silent. A man who begs for her attention is a man who has lost his direction. But a man who builds, a man who truly builds, becomes a presence that cannot be ignored. Hear me clearly. If your entire world revolves around her, you've already lost her. No woman wants to be your entire world. She wants to be a part of a world worth stepping into. And if she walks away, your world should not collapse. Your world should keep spinning. Keep climbing. Keep glowing. A real man doesn't stop moving forward just because someone chooses not to walk with him. You want her to worry about losing you, then become the kind of man who doesn't need her to validate him, not because you don't love her, but because you love something higher, your mission, your calling, your God. You've got something bigger to chase than her shadow. And when she sees that, truly sees it, something in her soul will pause, because she knows men like that are rare. Men like that are dangerous. Men like that don't wait around forever. Too many men build their entire lives around a woman's attention and call it ambition. They wait on her text before they make a move. They can't think straight unless they know she's watching. They pour everything into her, but nothing into themselves. And then they wonder, why is she pulling away? She pulls away because she feels the pressure. She feels that you have no foundation apart from her, and that doesn't make her feel wanted. It makes her feel trapped. But when a man has depth, when a man has direction, when a man wakes up every morning with fire in his bones and a plan in his hands, she notices. When you pour yourself into your craft, into your health, into your spirit, into your vision, Without slowing down just to keep her comfortable, she feels it. She feels the shift. And yes, it may make her nervous, not because you are playing games, but because she senses something in you that doesn't depend on her to exist. Build a life that would still matter even if she left tomorrow. Build a life with God at the center. Vision at the wheel. And discipline as the engine. Build a schedule that doesn't wait on her mood. Build friendships that sharpen you. Build goals that stretch you. Build habits that ground you. When you build like that, you stop begging. You stop chasing because your value is no longer tied to who claps for you. Your value comes from within. From purpose. From knowing who you are. And that, my brother, that is the man she worries about. The man who isn't playing games, but building greatness. The man who can love her fully, but walk away in peace. The man who is not driven by her reaction, but by his revelation. So stop waiting, stop begging, pick up the tools of your calling and build something so strong, so powerful, that even if she walks away, she will never forget what she walked away from. There is a silence that speaks louder than shouting. There is a kind of moment when a man walks away, not in bitterness, not in games, not in pride, but with peace in his eyes and purpose in his stride. And that silence, that absence, echoes in ways your presence never could. Because when you have lived right, moved right, loved right, and yet chosen to let go when you were no longer honored, your absence becomes a message. You don't have to slam doors, you don't have to throw insults, you don't have to post cryptic messages begging for attention. A man of dignity doesn't have to destroy what he's walking away from, he just walks away with his soul intact, and that quiet exit speaks volumes. You want to leave a mark on her mind, you want her to feel your presence, even when you're gone? Then be the kind of man whose absence lingers, not because of wounds, but because of weight. This is not manipulation, it's not disappearing to pull on her emotions, that's immature. This is about value, about knowing who you are, about refusing to stay where your worth is mishandled. Your peace is disturbed, or your vision is blurred. When a man knows what he carries, he doesn't need to beg to be seen, he knows the gift he brings into a woman's life, and if she can't see it, he doesn't scream, he simply leaves. And when he does, the weight of his absence begins to speak. It speaks when her phone stops ringing, it speaks when her name no longer echoes in his prayers, it speaks when the covering, the safety, the peace he brought suddenly disappears. It speaks when his steady presence, his discipline, his calm is no longer in the room. That's when she realizes, he wasn't just a man, he was a covering, he was a leader, he was rare. Most men don't leave like that, they leave in anger, in desperation, in brokenness. But not you, not if you're walking in your power. You leave as a man who gave his best, a man who sowed truth, a man who stayed steady, a man who walks away with a clean heart. And that's what makes your absence unforgettable. Because when you're gone, it will become painfully clear. You weren't just there, you were holding things together, you were holding her steady, you were lifting her up, you were covering what she didn't even realize needed covering. And when she looks around and that stillness is gone, that peace, that presence, that quiet strength, that's when she feels it. Not the loss of noise, but the loss of order, the loss of clarity, the loss of you. So live in such a way that if you walk away, your absence becomes a testimony, a mirror, a sermon. Let the life you live beside her preach louder after you're gone than all the words you said while you were there. Let her remember the steadiness, the vision, the faith, the fire. Let her miss the man, not the attention. Build a presence that leaves fingerprints on the soul. Don't chase, don't prove, just be. We've just seen what happens when a man builds his life with purpose. When he walks in peace and no longer begs for attention. Now let's take this further, because if you must ever walk away, you must walk with grace, but also with strength. And trust me, the weight of who you are will always speak louder in silence than the noise of 1,000 shallow men scrambling to replace you. Sometimes, the most powerful thing a man can say is nothing at all. You see, a man loses his mystery the moment he becomes constantly accessible. When you're always there, always answering, always showing up at the first buzz of a phone, something sacred begins to fade. You may think it's loyalty, you may think it's love, but if you're not careful, what you're really feeding is neediness. And there is nothing that suffocates respect faster than a man who makes himself too easy to reach. You were not made to be on call like a servant tied to someone else's schedule. Your time is holy, your energy is limited, your focus is precious. If you give it away to anyone who asks, if you drop everything every time she calls, You are not showing strength. You are showing a life that is too empty. You want to be the man she thinks about? The man she worries about when you grow quiet? Then stop being available for everything and everyone. Be busy, be focused, be building. Not because you're playing games, but because your life is already full of purpose. You're not ignoring her, you're becoming. And a man who is truly becoming doesn't have time to be everyone's option. Let me tell you something. Presence is powerful, but scarcity creates value. Diamonds aren't found lying in the street. They are deep in the earth, hard to reach, hard to earn. And it's the same with men of vision. They are not everywhere. They are not always free. They do not entertain every call, every cry, every demand. Why? Because their lives are full. And that fullness is not what pushes the right woman away, it's what draws her closer. When you're always available, always explaining, always texting, always chasing, you stop being the main character in your own life. You start fading into the background of someone else's story. You lose your center. You lose your gravity. And when a man loses those things, a woman may keep you around, but she will no longer respect you. I'm not talking about playing hard to get. That's childish. I'm talking about living so fully that you don't have to pretend to be busy. You are busy. Too busy praying, too busy working, too busy building, too busy growing, too busy serving your purpose to sit around hoping she finally notices your worth. Because when she knows you're not sitting by the phone, when she senses your world doesn't pause for her convenience, when she realizes your time matters, your peace matters, your mission matters, that's when she starts to look at you differently. Not as someone who's always waiting, but as someone she could lose. And that changes everything. Women may not say it out loud, but they notice the man who doesn't orbit around them. They notice the man who isn't always first to reply, always free to adjust, always shifting his life to fit theirs. And that subtle distance, that quiet, healthy distance, doesn't make them walk away. It makes them lean in. It pulls them closer. Because it tells them you have options, it tells them your life has weight, it tells them you are not a man who begs to be kept. You are a man who must be chosen. So don't apologize for being unavailable, don't overexplain your silence, don't chase moments that God never told you to pursue. Show up with quality, not quantity, be consistent, but not constant, be present, but not predictable. Because when a man is always there, he fades. But when a man is rare, when he is focused, when he is driven, his absence speaks. His presence is felt, and his worth cannot be ignored. Every man wants to be wanted. Every man wants to be desired. But not every man becomes the kind of man a woman is afraid to lose. That's not about charm, that's not about looks, it's not about money. It's about the weight you carry when you walk into a room, it's about the way your presence steadies her, lifts her, sharpens her, just by being you. You don't become that man by chasing, you don't become that man by begging her to see your worth. You become that man by becoming the kind of man who cannot be replaced. And let me tell you something hard, but holy. You don't get there by accident. You get there by discipline, by character, by vision, by fire. The man she's afraid to lose, he's the one who leads her. Without controlling her, he's the one who speaks with purpose, not pressure, he's the one who protects her heart, even when she doesn't notice. He carries himself with honor, not for attention, but because that's who he is when no one's watching. His integrity isn't a show, it's a lifestyle. His strength isn't loud, it's quiet certainty. He's not trying to impress, he's trying to build. And when a man builds with that kind of soul, when he walks with that kind of conviction, she feels it. She feels it in the way he handles stress. She sees it in the way he treats people who can't offer him anything. She notices it in the way he prays when no one's listening. He becomes a spiritual force, not because he's perfect, but because he's anchored. That's the kind of man a woman doesn't just want, she reveres. Not because he plays with her emotions, but because he brings her peace. Not just because he makes her laugh, but because he makes her think. Not because he's always available, but because when he is, his presence matters. She realizes, this is not a man to toy with. This is a man with something inside him she doesn't want to live without. But hear me, you don't become that man for her. You become that man for you. You become that man because God put something inside you worth developing. You become that man because the world doesn't need another entertainer. It needs another pillar. It needs a man who can stand when everything else falls. A man who doesn't just quote scripture, but lives it. A man who doesn't need to be famous, just faithful. You want her to worry about losing you, then give her something real to lose. Give her a man with discipline, a man who can pray, a man who can protect, a man who knows where he's going, and isn't afraid to go there alone. If he must. And don't fake it, don't perform, become it. Because when a man has done the inner work, when his mind is sharp, his habits are clean, his soul is steady, and his eyes are clear, that man is rare, that man is heavy, that man is unforgettable. And yes, she will worry. But not because you've played with her feelings, she'll worry because she knows if she loses you, she's not just losing a lover, she's losing a covering, she's losing a future, she's losing a man she could have built with. So don't lower your standards to be desired, raise your character to be respected. Don't be easy to get, be impossible to replace. That's the man she's afraid to lose. Now I ask you, do you want her to worry because you're playing games, or do you want her to worry because you're rising so high she's not sure she can reach you? Do you want to be remembered for your charm or revered for your character? You were not made to manipulate, you were made to lead. You were not made to impress, you were made to impact. So stand up, stand tall, become a man a woman doesn't just want, but remembers.